My name is Juan. I work for Sunhotels. I'm head of IT operations there. IT operations there means everything that is not a project team, that is not like the usual development. So basically everything that has a computer involved is my team's fault. So you see that we had some experience with Elasticsearch in the last 5 or 6 years, and this is it's a bit of our journey. As you'll be able to see, this wasn't an official project that okay, let's implement Elasticsearch with this goal. Was something kind of organic, something that happened. So I'll share a bit of the journey, and then the machine learning specific part that is the most recent thing that we have been doing there. And you feel free to interrupt me. I tend to speak very fast. So we are Sunhotels. We are online business providing travel services to a global business area now. We basically sell hotel nights to OTAs and things like that. So when you enter on an online travel agency webpage and you search for hotel, those online travel agencies are sending requests to companies like Sunhotel. Okay, so all the hotels and transfers and everything is this type of thing that we sell there. We started as a Scandinavian company in 2004, and we started to grow, and then we were bought by Webjet, that is an Australian company. They're B2C, and we are the European B2B part of this. So if you need more information, you have my contacts later. So, like I said, our journey was something organic. Like in the beginning, like everything was darkness. We had logs dumped on SQL Server and on file, and everything was there in many places. And then you have an issue, and you have no idea what's going on. And like 3 hours later, when the issue is gone, and your boss is yelling at you, and your mom is not happy because everyone is stressed, and then you find on a log that is dumped somewhere that okay, you have a client that did that, and we were looking because at this time we had Elasticsearch for a quick search service, and we were fighting with all the logins, and like one guy came, well, okay, let's use this, and then we put a service that would dump this in another database, and then we activate the full text search on SQL Server, blah, 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 blah. And then one of the guys came and said, like, we have Elasticsearch, let's dump that. And then we say, okay, so let's try it. So this was like a reaction to our need for the real-time monitoring. Because like I said, we are having like sometimes hours of delay to discover why something was happening, and this wasn't good enough. So we started to log things on the Elasticsearch. So we got things like how many incoming requests we have, how many outgoing requests we have, because basically we receive one request from one client, and we have our database, so our hotel nights or whatever, our contracts, and we also have connections to third-party suppliers. And how fast are we? We have no idea how fast are we. Like sometimes we start to collect metrics on days that we have outages, and then we start to like, wow, we are not as fast as we think, right? Because everything was reacting to the problem, And then when we implemented that, it was amazing because we had like a Kibana with some shards, and we started to see a bunch of stuff. But ignorance is bliss, because like when you don't know what is happening, you don't know how many issues you have. So like you think that your platform is good, is working well, until you start to see like the dip inside of your platform, and that was what happened to with us. Suddenly, when we created some dashboards, we started to get some questions from business and internally on the operations team, like, why is this happening? Like, we never spotted this. Like, who is doing that? Why is this happening? So we increased a whole bunch of our logging and started to dump even more things inside Elastic. And at this time, people from business, they started to see, like, oh, you're logging the bookings here, right? So can I have a small chart that will show me this? I say, okay, like, I will do it. Can I have another one that will do this? And suddenly my Elasticsearch, was the whole company Elasticsearch with the Kibana, and everyone was accessing, and suddenly, like, everyone was asking a lot of things there. And this, as this wasn't just the operations team anymore, we start to get a bunch of attention on that. So things that we didn't have before, because as we are a B2B, the company never spent much effort on creating like a business intelligence. Like, was very simple reports that we had, and people from sales and contracting, they had a bunch of issues because, okay, I'm contracting hotels in this area and we're not selling that much. So why? I know that everyone sells a lot in Mallorca. Why we're not selling that much in Mallorca? So basically, because your client is not searching Mallorca, your client is searching a different stuff. So that's what we started to see when we had those new dashboards. They started to help business a lot. So they said, okay, they're searching a lot here and we're not booking. Lots of queuing and weird things going on, and a lot of yelling. And my boss is like a tall, fat, white guy that gets very red when things are not going well. And then, like, he was constantly red, and this wasn't good. And with all this tuning, we managed to find and had like a real vision of why we're having the issues. And okay, like, dumb example, like, just put one extra red is there and suddenly the platform is amazing, and things like that, because we never noticed that on the whole breakdown of the response, this little part was the issue when you're live. Because when you're doing the whole profiling in local, everything is going well. So basically, this for us was almost a profiling in live all the time. Okay. And then we started to automate things because, well, we have the information, so let's automate. My team wasn't that big at the time, and the platform started to grow because like I said on the previous slide, we started to do a lot of tuning. Suddenly, the platform that was able to handle 600 requests per second was handling like 10K. And business was happy, and okay, let's open all the clients, all the providers. And I remember at the time, because my internal network traffic jumped from 500 megabytes per second to 7 gigs in less than 1 year. When we built a new thing on the core based on all the observations that we did, we built a new core, and it sounded like everything grew a lot, and we had to expand and create more data centers and everything. Okay, and then we have all the information. We have a bunch of things to take care of. Now suddenly we have 3 data centers. We have much more traffic. We managed to get those huge machines. They were 128 gigs of memory and break into machines of 8 gig of memory, and then we have multiple instances. And we scaled that so much that wasn't possible to maintain the things with 3 engineers just taking care of things. And we had like a bunch of dashboards to take care. So we started to do automation. The vast majority of the robots, they take care of keeping the platform alive, basically. So we have very tight constraints, for example, on response times. So if you have a specific provider that is not giving you a decent response time, we disconnect. The robot is taking care how the robot does, talking to Elasticsearch. As we are dumping there, I have a robot that is connected to Elasticsearch, and launching queries there, and okay, this is not good, close. And we have this forevers also per provider, per server. For example, if a server is not feeling well, this can be resource-wise, like CPU, memory, or whatever, or if we're having issues with a specific server. For example, we have more booking errors in this server than the other servers. We also disconnect, and everything is automated because no one wants to be awake looking to the dashboards 24/7, right? And we start to create a look-to-book report that is something very critical for our business. That is, okay, you have clients that they do 10 million searches to do one booking, and then you have clients that do 40,000 searches to have one booking. So who should we give the priority? And then those was like at the next level of the reporting that the business was asking for, and they started to do more tuning on the process with the clients to and to the providers to get that, because the first thing is close those guys that are giving those huge look-to-book. They just stress the platform. The second step when you close is why these guys not booking. So they started to have a look, and okay, this client is searching a lot of destination that our contracts are not good. They're searching for a specific board. Oh, this provider, as they are a luxury provider, they are searching a lot of Mallorca. Oh, we have all the product in Mallorca. Yeah, but you don't have 5-star hotel in Mallorca, or all-inclusive board. Like you're very focused on the mid-range thing. So those look-to-book reports, they started to be crucial in a point that in my initial Elasticsearch cluster, that as was mine for monitoring, if I had to turn off a little bit because I'm doing a maintenance or something, it was okay. And suddenly, okay, I will turn this down a little bit because we're going to move something that I think disable. Mobile calling, like I'm trying to access the reports, and so became very critical, our Elasticsearch cluster, and was so critical that until 3 months ago, we were on the version 1.4 still, because I couldn't update. So, and I have like a specialized hardware for that, because I have physical machines with flash drives to write because of the amount of operation that I was doing per second. And then I said like, okay, I have to implement the new thing. I'm going to migrate the data, but I'm creating new clusters because like it's impossible to do this. So we created a new virtualized environment with a new cluster. This was my boss phrase, comment. He said like, we have all the data. Let's be smart and use it. Because we got a bunch of offers of a couple companies offering more deep BI analysis, and they came, they did proof of concepts, etc. And my boss said like, we have all the data there, so why should we pay other people to do the analysis for us? Let's be smart and use it. I'll give you a couple of numbers from our core today, just to have an idea on the volume that we're managing. We have an average 4K incoming requests per second. This means that a lot of people search for hotel, right? Like I don't know. Sometimes my wife, oh, let's travel. I wanted to go to, I don't know, Paris. Paris on this website. Click. I don't like this hotel. Why did you click? You're launching requests to the platform. Like someone like me is suffering because of you. Stop clicking. And well, basically 4K incoming requests per second. The average, our average traffic daily is 250 million of incoming, and we do more or less 1.5 billion requests, including the outgoing traffic. Like I said, we have our contract base, but we also speak to external providers. And we have minor details on like we split requests to be faster, etc., etc. Okay, so this is important because I will show you on the next few slides that I tried before advancing a lot, especially on the machine learning part with the Elasticsearch. I tried other vendors that they came and they offered because I was trying to implement something even before Elastic come and show the machine learning for us. And also, like, as we are part of a bigger company, but this bigger company doesn't have the traffic we have because they are B2C. They have, oh no, we have huge traffic, 5 million requests per day. Like, yeah, I do this in 20 minutes. They have a different structure for logging, and they try to, okay, no, you should use what we are using. Like, okay, this is not going to handle all. No, this is working pretty well. You know that I will break your system if I plug my system there. No, you plug. Like, okay, if you say so. Oh no, turn off. Everything is on fire. Like, okay, I told you. So this is important because we're talking about a couple teras a day of just the data that we push to Elasticsearch to do all the dashboarding that I will show you guys a bit later, and I'll tell you another things. So they said, like, my boss said, no, this is going to be easy. Yeah, it's because she's not doing it, right? It's easy, like, you do that. And our operations team was still the same size we were when we had 6 servers in live handling 600 requests. And then, like, we have a bunch of robots and we have to do a huge amount of work to maintain all those robots, which we can't live without also, because if I turn the robots off, I will sit there and stare at dashboards forever. And also because of the people in the company, they were using our Kibana with all the things that they asked. And this started to become huge for us. Like, I was spending 50% of my time or my team's time maintaining things that were running around Elastic. And one of the things was anomaly detection. We tried a whole bunch of things that you have outside. We did proof of concepts with a couple vendors, and it was amazing because, okay, I want real-time anomaly detection, and I'm going to push you a couple gigs per minute of data, and then you will tell me what is going on. No, fantastic, this happened. This will happen. Like, you can count on us. Let's do the proof of concept. Okay, so, okay, here's my data. Oh no, I can't ingest that. Like, you have to change to this format. Okay, so we change the format, we create a robot and push the data. And then you start to push the data. The guy, yeah, so here are the dashboards. Yeah, but this is data from like 3 hours ago. Yeah, because I can't process on the pace that you're pushing. Right. So I'm stressing my platform because I'm sending twice the traffic over the internet. Yeah, and other things we tried. So nothing was good enough. So we decided to do our own anomaly detection, and we implemented it. And it is that when you have like Web 21 was our anomaly detection, and works, but no, because works for some things. It was very specific for each type of metric that you want to monitor. We had to code a bunch of stuff, and even for, I will give a dumb example. We have clients that they do 20 million searches a day, and I have clients that they do 10 searches a day, because we have basically 2 main types of clients. The clients that are connected via API, that they have like a huge website that they launch requests to us, and we also have uh, 13,000 agents that they have a point of sale that is ours open there in a web page that they have there. So somewhere in the middle of Scotland, like there's a guy that opens the page twice a day because someone wants to buy an online small village. So this was huge work because it was impossible to maintain. Like I have a guy that is doing 20 millions and the other that is doing 5 requests per day. And my robot was freaking out because was a lot of tuning to do. So and we wanted the anomaly detection because we had so many dashboards to take care of. Because we had, I don't remember, but I think at the time we had like 30 something dashboards that we had to look the whole day. And you see there's a picture a couple of slides ahead that is from my operations room. That we have like 8 TVs and 6 of them are rotating dashboards all the time. And then, like you lose a bunch of stuff. When you have this amount of information for this amount of people to look, and with this difference or this discrepancy, like 20 millions to 5, you lost a bunch of stuff. And our anomaly detection wasn't working pretty well. And I was having a chat with the people from Elastic because I wanted to buy the XPack at the time to publish, more specifically because of the security part. And I was whining about the machine learning because my life was miserable and nothing I can do. And I was trying to do that and yada yada. So they said, look, there's something that is kind of a bit better for us. We are here. This is not public, but if you want to give it a look, like I can send you and you can test. And then we started to test and I said, okay, so this is going to work, I think. So, like I said, anomaly detection with our homemade solution was hard to tune. I was having a bunch of false alerts and things that should be alerted wasn't being like, okay, when the platform was going down, the road wasn't telling me anything. When one guy did one booking on the middle of nowhere, oh my God, we have a booking. Come down. So it was huge work. With the POC, like I said, I had problem pushing, delay on the processing on their side, and dependency on externals. Oh, now I want to see this indicator. Okay, you open a ticket, my support team will create a thing for you, and then in a couple of days you'll have your dashboard number. I want the thing now. And then we started to use the Elastic. And so no need to pre-process the data. Everything is there. The ingestion of the machine learning is taking care of everything. The data is there. I don't have to push. Everything is being taken care. I have control over the indicators. And all my robots already talk to Elasticsearch. Is something internal. So I started to remove, and this is still a working in progress, that I'm removing all the calculation part from the robots, and I'm leaving just the decision taking and the actual action that you have to take. So basically, before the robots were connecting to Elasticsearch, launching a bunch of queries, doing a bunch of calculation, and this looks bad, so let's close it. And now is launch the query. Is this red? Yes, close it. So I'm reducing a lot the complexity of all the monitoring, and actually I'm replacing 8 of 12 robots for one small robot that is kind of a generic template that is like, you go to this one, if it's red, you close this. Fantastic. And I love this page, like, and you see why, because remember I said, okay, you have to look all that huge amount of dashboards to know what is happening. I don't have any more. Like, I have colors If I don't like the color, I go to the dashboard and I see what is going on. You know, I click here, I see a detail, and then, okay, I need to debug this a little bit. Then I open the other dashboards to have a look. But this, you see on the picture, this is right in front of me on my dashboard, and it's not my fault, great. Someone is not fired on my team today. So great. So I managed to give other teams the responsibility of monitoring thanks to this dashboard. So, okay, all this business part, you're going to take care of. My team is very technical, we'll take care of the technical part. And when I was in your presentation, apart from not understanding much, because as you can see, my French is awesome, but from everything I was reading and from the few things that I could pick up, feels like home, because everything that you were telling, like, this will help you to reduce the outages or the problem you have lying live, blah, blah, blah. This was exactly my experience on the last 2 years that I'm managing the team there. And was something very basic and organically grew. It was growing, and now it's a crucial part of our platform. Like we cannot live without this today. If I have to turn this off because of something, yeah, you can turn everything off, because like nothing's gonna work, because we basically removed all the other types of monitoring and everything that I had, and I centralized here. And from the business point of view, we also managed to spot that those are the processes that are in place on the projects that are in place today with the new aspect that we implemented. Between the graphs and the machine learning and a couple of stuff, we are trying to pick up things like this, because people on the tourism sector, they are very, very creative, and they find many ways to break your platform. So for example, imagine that I have 3 clients, A, B, C, connected to my platform. And then I have a client D that connects to A, B, C, and us. When this client wants to search one thing, sends a request to those 3 guys and to me. And each one of these guys send a request to me. So to answer one guy, I do 4 searches. And before that, like, we always knew that, but it was impossible to track. And then with the new dashboarding and things, we managed to actually find and spot like very big clients that all the movements and anomalies, they were happening together. So when this client is suffering, other 3 are suffering at exactly the same time. And we managed also to find things like, because when we found the correlation between them, we started to see things like, I have different rates for different providers, right? Like I can sell you to a price and to you in a different price depending on the commercial agreements we have. And sometimes a third person that is connected to both of you and to me, I have a great agreement with him. He can put his margin on top, and it still will be better with the margin, the contract that I have with you. So we start to see, look, that guy triggers a search. I receive searches from those 3 guys, and suddenly I got the booking from that search from that guy. Okay, our contract with this one is not great. You talk to business, we're receiving a lot of bookings from that guy, but everything comes from that other guy. So they go there, they change the agreement, suddenly this reduces a little bit, and we get more profit because we have a direct contract with the guy. And we start to have time because of the machine learning and the graph. I love the graph functionality because it's amazing, and I want to explore more. So coming back to my video wall, this, if you see here, I have a whole bunch of dashboards, and everything rotates except the top left ones. They are fixed, and all the others are rotating. But I don't have to take care of them anymore because I keep the thing there. Okay, this is red. I don't use the dashboards for monitoring anymore. I use the dashboards basically for debugging the problem or trying to get more detail into the problem. So I believe my life improved a lot. I take care of one screen, everything is great, and it's basically that. Any questions here? If not, I'm going to show you, or I can show you a couple dashboards and things that we have. So,
you connect the alerting with the machine learning devices?
I didn't yet because, like I said, we had a whole bunch of robots in place. They were doing everything. They was doing all the calculations, and depending on what is happening, we escalate. Depending, like first it's an alert on, I don't know, Slack or an email, or you disconnect and then you call someone. We have different levels, and as this is already in place in the robot, we didn't yet, but it's on the radar. What we are going to do now. What they're supposed to do originally with the XPack, I'm going to publish this without the VPN because I have to activate the security part. And this is not the next step. We're still finishing a couple of migration of the robots, but this is on the radar for until the end of this year to activate the security. Just a couple numbers. We're doing more or less 12K operations per second on Elasticsearch on our cluster. We have 2 clusters. So 12K operations of a lot of them are inserts, and it's a decent size entity that we push there. We have one with 5 nodes that is taking care of the big traffic. And it's very light comparing to the version 1.4. I have much more traffic and nodes now with some virtual machines and much better performance that I have with until I have the version 1.4. Let's see if I can. So this is what this is some of the jobs, because there are a couple of them that I had to hide, but this is some of the jobs that we have running for the cluster that is taking care of everything that relates to the process of all the process that relates to the booking, not to the search. They are split because we decided to do like this because of pressure, and as we removed the vast majority of the logging that we had from other sources, and we centralized everything here. Like I can lose, if something happens, a logging from searches because it's more statistics than other stuff, but I cannot lose logging from bookings. So we decided to creating 2 different clusters that are nothing to do to each other. So when I have to touch things from the bookings, and to avoid maintenance, etc., etc. So we have a couple of them. As you can see, there's a lot of things happening, and I don't see much movement on. There's lack of my team. So yeah, someone is going to receive a call when I finish this presentation because there's a lot of yellow things there in the last 24 hours. And this is what I showed you guys on my. That is my main screen now. We're missing 1 or 2 jobs that are not showing here. And I have, for example, I had a whole bunch of dashboards, huge dashboards with a whole bunch of stuff on the video wall, and it's impossible to monitor properly a platform with this amount of moving parts with just 3 people. So the machine learning part is making our life much easier. So this is one of them. It's funny because I have to remove from my statistics an agent that is called Isaac Test Agent, because it's a guy on my team that he loves to do testing in live. And he's part of the monitoring, and he originally was a QA. So he has this thing that, okay, one booking failed here, so let me check. And then he started to do, so I had to exclude from my numbers because, okay, why this? And then, oh no, Isaac is doing tests, so I had to remove. And for example, this is my dashboard that relates to performance. I have since yesterday 40 servers in live, front-end servers in live. There are those ones that are painting here. Right now the traffic's not very high. It's 3K, between 3 and 4K. And it's impossible to find anomaly visually here. And then because there are a couple of things you see. I know, this is anomaly. No, this is not. This is there on purpose because a specific process we have in place. Our core doesn't use the database, so we do a round robin syncing the servers to use the in-memory data. So it was impossible to spot something, especially when, and then you have a second thing. We have our core with our own contracts. Is possibly the fastest on the industry now. This in-memory thing that we built. So if you see, we have searches that they have live providers, what we call live providers, that are third-party suppliers. That is basically someone like us that we are connected to, and our own product. So if you take the average response time from my suppliers, yeah, fantastic. If you take, as you can see, I'm retarded and I can use this. So if you take the average response time from my live providers is around 800 milliseconds, and our own response time is less than 10 milliseconds. And this is one of the things that were impossible to catch. Like, how should I monitor something that it's in orders of magnitude so different? So, yeah, this is one of the main dashboards. This is one of the fixed one. And this is response time per provider. And like I said, like we have here a whole bunch of providers connected. And then like when something is going on here with this amount of information, if you don't have something taken care for you, you never spot it. Like you will notice that something is going on with one of those lines when someone complains. That this usually take days. That someone, okay, we're not having bookings with this provider anymore. Why? And then you start to see, and like 3 days ago. So that's why I love that little thing so much, because I had to start things like this the whole day. I still can tell by heart because I lived for this for 3 years. And then, okay, you see like a small glitch on the specific color, and then you say, okay, that color shouldn't be there. So, and then, but I know that, and one guy on my team know that. If we leave the company, and they're opening providers, we had like 10 providers 1.5 years ago, and we have 50 today. So still impossible to monitor. But basically that, this is our experience. Like I said, it was an organic thing. It wasn't very structured, but became part of something that is crucial. All our monitoring depend on that. And the machine learning part is, it's making our life much easier. And as you can see, it's impossible to live using reading lines and bunch of dashboard like this. So thank you. Here are my contacts. If you want to, if you have any questions, and if you want to contact me for whatever, be my guest. I won't be able to be here until the end of the session, so thank you.